The airport was packed and noisy, just like any other busy day. People rolled their suitcases across the floor. Loudspeakers called out flight numbers, and tired travelers rushed by. But then, a sound broke through all the noise. A deep, frantic bark echoed through the terminal. Everyone turned to see a black German shepherd pulling hard on its leash. The dog's teeth showed, its eyes locked on a woman struggling to carry shopping bags. She looked pregnant, and her face turned pale with fear. "Please, someone help," she cried, holding her belly. People stepped away, thinking the dog was about to attack. But what no one realized was that this wasn't an attack at all. The dog was trying to warn them something was very wrong. The dog kept barking like crazy, pulling harder and harder on the leash. People nearby gasped, backing away quickly. The pregnant woman didn't move. She stood frozen in place, her eyes wide, one hand gripping her belly. "Please, help me," she cried out again, her voice shaking. To most people watching, it looked like the dog was being aggressive. Its barks were loud and nonstop, its body tense, like it was ready to attack. But that wasn't what was really happening. Max, the black German shepherd, wasn't barking out of anger. He wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He was scared. He was trying to tell everyone something important. But no one could understand him. They only saw a scary dog and a helpless woman. And because of that, no one noticed the truth not until it was almost too late. Officer Daniel Rayaan had worked at the airport for years. He had seen all kinds of chaos: lost kids, missed flights, even fights between angry passengers. But nothing like this. He was a K-9 officer and had trained with Max, his German shepherd, for 6 years. Daniel trusted Max completely. The dog was smart, calm, and followed commands without fail. But today, Max was acting wild. His barking wouldn't stop, and he kept lunging toward the woman with the shopping bags. Daniel gripped the leash tighter, his eyes studying the woman. She looked tired and nervous but didn't seem dangerous. "Ma'am, are you okay?" he asked over Max barking. She didn't answer. Her eyes flicked away, avoiding his. Daniel felt a chill in his gut. Something wasn't right. Then Max did something that shocked Daniel. The dog turned and bit Daniel's sleeve, not hard, just enough to pull him. Max tugged him toward the woman's shopping bags, barking louder than ever. Daniel had never seen him act like this. It wasn't random. Max was trying to say something. Suddenly, a faint metal click came from one of the bags. Daniel's heart started racing. His instincts took over. He let go of the leash and reached for his gun. "Drop the bags," he shouted. The woman's face changed in an instant. The fear in her eyes turned to anger. Without a word, she spun around and took off running. Max dashed after her, weaving through the shocked crowd. Daniel grabbed his radio and called for backup, his voice sharp. He had a terrible feeling this wasn't over. The woman ran fast, pushing through the panicked crowd. People screamed and scattered as Max chased her, never slowing down. Daniel ran after them, shouting into his radio for more officers. The woman suddenly threw one of her shopping bags into a trash bin just as security caught up and tackled her to the ground. And then boom! A loud explosion rocked the terminal. Smoke filled the air. People screamed and dropped to the floor. Daniel's ears rang as he tried to stand up. His heart pounded. That bag had been a trick. It wasn't the real danger. Max barked wildly, standing in front of the woman again. Daniel's eyes widened as he saw what Max already knew. The bulge under her sweater wasn't from a baby. It was something else. Something much worse. A bomb! Max wasn't barking anymore. He was staring at the woman's stomach, his eyes wide with fear. Daniel's heart raced as he looked at her, then back at Max. Something was off. The bulge under the woman's sweater didn't look right. It wasn't a baby. It was the outline of something else, something dangerous. A bomb vest. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. The woman grinned at him, her fingers twitching toward something in her pocket. It was the detonator. Daniel's mind screamed in panic. One wrong move, and hundreds of lives would be lost. Max, sensing the danger, snarled, his body tensing. Daniel quickly stepped forward, his hand tight around his gun. "Don't do it," he warned. The woman's fingers brushed the button in her pocket. She smirked and whispered, "Too late." Daniel's stomach dropped. He could see Max was ready to spring, but one move could trigger the bomb. Everything was riding on a single second. Daniel took a deep breath and knew he had to act fast. He couldn't let her push the button. Max was ready, but one wrong move, and everything could blow. Daniel shouted at the woman, trying to distract her. "Drop the detonator," he ordered. But the woman just smirked again. With a sharp, quick motion, Daniel gave Max the command. The German Shepherd lunged. Max grabbed the woman's wrist, pulling it away from her pocket where the detonator was. She screamed, fighting back, but it was too late. The detonator clattered to the floor, sliding away from her reach. In seconds, police officers rushed in, tackling her to the ground. Max stood beside Daniel, panting hard, his eyes never leaving the woman. A few moments later, the bomb squad arrived and disarmed the vest. They had stopped the worst from happening just in time. Hours later, Daniel sat outside the terminal, still processing what had happened. News vans surrounded him, cameras flashing as reporters called him and Max heroes. But Daniel didn't feel like a hero. He kept thinking about how close they had come to disaster. The explosion had only been a decoy. The real threat was the woman and her bomb vest. He looked down at Max, who was resting beside him, still panting but calm now. Max's head nudged his hand, as if saying, "We did it." Daniel rubbed his dog's fur gently. They had stopped something horrible today. But what about tomorrow? In a world where danger can look like anything or anyone, Daniel knew one thing for sure: trust the dog. Max had saved their lives today. And maybe, just maybe, he would save them again.